Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen from YouTube. Today we are going to talk about event bubbling and event capturing in the front end side of JavaScript. Okay, this is mainly the DOM API stuff as well, so it's pretty good stuff. So what is event bubbling and capturing? So event bubbling is that you have different event listeners inside the elements that's nested together. Like for example, let's look at our HTML here. HTML file here. We have a body, and inside the body we have a div container, and inside the container div we have a UL, another list, and I give an ID toy list, and then we have a list item here. Okay, and when we talk about event bubbling, let's talk about getting the event register to each elements here. So let's do the list first. So we'll declare a variable list, and it's grabbing the toy list, the UL, right? All right, this guy right here, and then I'll register an event listener. So when I click the list, triggers an event, and I want to say I click the UL, right? This is the event I register to this mouse click motion. Okay, on a secondly, when we go to here, okay, so this is the way I register events for all the list items here. So we have a for loop that we loop through all the list children, which is all the LEs, okay, and a child represent each li. And then on the child, we will also register a click event and trigger a callback, and I'll say click li. Okay, so that's the code we're looking at right now. So let's look at our page on the front end. Okay, we have the console here on the right, and then we have 3 items on our page, right? So if you look at back to our code, our HTML, so we have, the first item is transformer, second list item is mega blocks, and the third list item is Lego. So that's what we see here on our client page. Now, if I click on any of this item, what do you think will happen? Right? So if I click transformers, let's click it. On a console, I'll have console log dot. We will log down the click li and click ul. So what's happening here? So what happened here is when we click on transformer, the console log the click li first, and then click ul, right? Why does this happen? So this is the phenomenon of the event bubbling. What event bubbling does is that it looks for the most inner element event register first, and then it goes up to its ancestors. In this case, ancestors means also parent, right? So the parent of li is ul. Okay, so first of all, they look at the most inner, the most nested element in their event. So click li, let's look at our code, right? So we register a console log here as an event on the LIs, right? And the LI is a child of UL, right? List item is a child of the unordered list. And in our code here, we also register another event inside our UL, right? So right now, the LI, all the LIs we have has an event register, and then our UL also has the event register. What the event bubbling is doing is that it will look at the most inner register event first, right? So you look at this one, you look at the LI first, and you look for the event. Does it have an event? Yes, we do have an event. So it says click li. And then it goes up to the ancestor to the ul and look for the event register here. Do we have that event register when we click? And yes, we do. It's right here, right? And also one thing to understand that is that if you click anywhere inside this list, you are clicking on ul. Okay, so now let's look. So the parent of ul is our div, the container, and let's also register another event, the click event with the parent of ul. See what happens. Okay, so let's say the code here. I will say the container is equal to document get ID by container. So this is the container div assigned to the container variable. And inside the container, we will register an event listener, the click event on a container. And it triggers the event, and then we will console log out the click div. Okay, is that clear? So what it means is that if you click anywhere inside this container, which also contains the list, you will trigger this event right here. Okay, let's save this file and go back to our front end. Okay, let's refresh. Now, if I click anywhere here, let's say I'll click the third item, Lego. If I click this, what do you think is going to happen? Like I said, the event bubbling is going to happen by default, right? So it's going to look for the most inner element that's inside this DOM tree. So in this case, our most inside element is the li. So it's going to console log that li first, right? And then goes up. What's the parent of li, which is the ul, the unordered list. So we console our list, and then it will go up to one more level to the parent, which is div. That's a container div right here. So that is what event bubbling is. Okay. So here's the kind of the visualization of the event bubbling. Okay, so the event bubbling starts at the most inner elements, right? So this is document. We have the head tag and the body tag, and inside the body tag we have a div tag, and then inside the div tag we have a ul right here, and then inside the ul I have three children. Sorry, and each of these element has an event coming in, right? We have the click event. And then inside this ul right here, we also register a click event. And in our div, we register another event. So what happens when you click a li here? So the event bubbling will start at the very bottom, which is the most inner element that you see here. And then it goes up. Okay, so she'll trigger this event first, and then the ul event, and then the div event that's registered. Okay, so that's the idea of the event bubbling. Okay, but in any case that you just want to trigger just this event, but you don't want to bubble up to the parent events, there's something you can do to stop the propagation. We'll show you in the function. Okay. Okay, so in any case that you want to stop the propagation of the event inside the event bubbling, you can use the event.stop propagation function, which is the built-in function in the event callback. Okay, so for this one, let's take an example here. So this one is for the list item. So each child is a list item. So when we say click, right, we logged out click li. And then from then on, that's the only event I want to trigger. I don't want to trigger any parent events from the list or from the div. We don't want any of that. So on the callback function, remember this one is a callback function right here. And you pass in event as a parameter. And the event parameter has a built-in function called a stop propagation. This will prevent the event bubble to go any further than this level. Like so for example, we save this file, and then we go back to our client here. Let's say I click mega block, right? This is a list item, and it will only triggers the console that it will say that it will click the li, right? So what's happening here? So what happened here is that we register the event dot stop propagation on all the list item here, right? So when the event bubble starts, remember it starts from the bottom, it looks for the li event, right? It's the list item event. Do we have any events in there? Yes, we do. We have a click event and then that triggers. By default, it will go up to look for the parent events. But once you have this, right, the stop propagation function as in the callback, then it will stop at the li level. It would not go up to the parent. So that's the case if you want to just trigger that only this event without going up to the bubble. Okay, so this is pretty much all the event bubbling concept. Now let's talk about the event capturing concept now, okay? So the event capturing concept is kind of the opposite of bubbling. So it starts from the very top of the document and then scan through all the event that's happening in the capturing phase, okay? And then the event bubble starts. Okay, so that's the kind of the normal flow of the events phases, capturing first and then bubbles up. Okay. By default, when you register the event, it will start at the event bubble phase. It will not get into the event capturing phase, unless you pass in a Boolean value of true into the add event listener as a third parameter. So let me show you what do I mean by that, okay? Okay, so we're going to look at the event capturing. So to register an event to be considered first in the capturing phase, we'll set the third parameter of the add event listener to true, right? Let's write it right here to the list. So remember, the first parameter we pass in is the event itself, the click event, and then a callback function as a second parameter. And a third parameter is optional. In this case, we set it to true for using capturing. Okay. Okay. So now remember, capturing happens before bubbling, right? So we set the capturing event in the list, the UL. Okay. So what do you think is going to happen when I click the list, any of the list items? Okay. Let's refresh this. Now, in here, we'll say we'll click Lego. Okay. Now look at the console here. The first thing that the console out is the UL. Remember, we register the list item to be captured in the event capturing phase instead of the bubbling. Remember, the capturing happens before bubbling, right? So therefore, when we click any of this here, the UL will register first. We will trigger the event first in the capturing phase. And then after the capturing phase ended, then we will look at the bubbling phase. The bubbling phase is they will look at the most, the most bottom element first, which is the li, right? So the ul is captured in the capturing phase, and this li function event is captured in the bubbling. The first thing happened in the bubbling phase, and then it goes up to the parent, right? The parent is already registered, so the event is already done with. And then you go to the parent of UL is the div. Okay. All right. So what happened if I want to just I just want to capture this event right here, right? I just want to capture this during the capturing phase, and that is it. That's it. I don't want to capture anything more in the capturing or bubbling event. I want to stop everything. So right now you can also use, remember that the event we're going to use the stop propagation, right? So you can predict what's going to happen, right? So we say we're going to capture this UL, the list, right? Another list first in the capturing phase. So that would be the first thing you capture inside the events. And then you want to stop there. No more capturing and no more bubbling up. Kind of like set a roadblock there in the event phases. Okay. So if I save this file, refresh, if you click anywhere here, you will see the console log. Click UL, and that's it. Right? During the event capturing, it just captured that event and it stops. Okay. All right. So let's play with the event capturing phase a little bit more. Okay. As you can see, we have our list registered to the capturing phase, and then let's also set our container div, register that into the capturing phase too. Okay, so right now, what do you think is gonna happen if I click on any of the list items? All right, let's go back to here, refresh this. So if I click on the transformers, one of the list item here, right now we have the click div event trigger first, and then we have the click UL event, and then we have to click LI event. So what's happening in here? All right, so what just happened? So we set the UL to register that in the event capturing, and the div in the event capturing phase as well, right? So remember, event capturing happens before the bubbling, right? So when we register this two event in the event capturing, the event capture phase will go down first from the top, from the document element down to the child body to the div, and then it captures this event, right? So the console log, the click div is the first thing that pop up in the console, and then you go down to the child here, which is the UL, and then it registers this event, which is the click UL event, right? We have the console log of that. And then after that is done, the capturing phase ended. Now we're going to the event bubbling phase. And then we also have the event. So we look at the lowest level element, which is the LI event. So now we fire that event when we click. So that is the click LI event. So that's how we render the order of events triggering inside our console. Okay. Now we understand how the capturing and bubbling works. Let's play with it just a little bit more. So let's say let's say on the list right here. All right. So right now the list and the div container, its parent, right? They are in the capturing phase. The event will trigger in the capturing phase. Now, I don't want, when I click anything on the list, I don't want this event to happen. I don't want to click LI. So I can just stop the event propagation in here. So we will just type event dot prop. Oh, no. Stop propagation right there. Okay. So we stop the propagation, the event propagation, inside the event capturing phase when it hits the list. Okay, now let's see what's going to happen in here. right? Oh, let me refresh this. Console right here. So I click anywhere in the list. Well, first of all, it's gonna trigger the click div event, right? Because that div is also registered in the event capturing phase. That comes before the UI because the div is the parent to the UL. And then we will trigger the click UL, right? And then remember we put a stop, the event stop propagation in here. So that is the end of the propagation. We stop at the right at the middle of the event capturing. When we stop there, there's no more event bubbles goes up back up again. So we will never see the click li, right? This part you will not see because we stop the propagation at the capturing level already. Okay. Okay, so guys, that's my tutorial. I hope you learned something from this for the event capturing and event bubbling. You got any questions, concerns? Just let me know in the comments. Hope you guys enjoy the video. See you guys later.